All right. So this is your second unit, right? Uh, yeah. In the last unit, your first unit, we saw what is the very basics of English. What is the English language? What is communication, and so on and so forth. Um, Things around it, right? Now, in your second unit, it's mostly grammar. So everything and anything required for your basic sentence making to very complicated sentence making, everything is going to be covered in this unit. All right. So we are first going to look at parts of speech. Okay. We are first going to look at parts of speech and just a minute. Yeah. Right. So we're going to look at parts of speech. So there are various in that. And this is the very, 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 very basic first thing that you learn in grammar, right? So I'm sure you have already learned this in school before. So it's more of a recap for you, right? So the first part of speech is noun, right? So what is a noun? To simply put it, it is a name. Okay. So name for anything. So whether it's me, Tripti, or whether it's a laptop or a bag or America or or Maharashtra or whatever, right? So anything where there is a term which is a name that is called as noun, right? So noun can be for different things. It can be for people, places, things, or ideas, right? Now, in people, what do I mean by people? So I mean proper nouns like Dripti, um, Mansi, and all of these are proper names of people. So names of people, places, Maharashtra, India, Rajasthan, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, all of these places, names of places. Things, right? Things can be bottle, plastic, apple, or a photograph, and anything, right? Ideas, invisible things that you can't touch, like love, happiness, courage, all of this is noun. All right. So names basically is nouns. Okay. So there are proper nouns and common nouns. Proper nouns are specific nouns like names of places and names of people. Like instead of saying teacher, which is a common noun, right? So teacher can be anyone. I mean, there are plenty of teachers, right? So that's a very common noun. But when I say that X person is a teacher, X over here, or Anna over here, like I've said, Anna is a teacher. So Anna becomes a proper noun because it's very specific, right? So places, when I say beach, school, all of these are common nouns because there are many beaches, there are many schools. But when I say a particular school's name, like Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, right? So that's not a school, that's a I mean, place of art. All right. So let's say that I take the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. So that becomes a specific noun because specifically I'm speaking about that particular institution, right? So common and proper noun. But other than that, any name of people, place, things, or ideas become your noun. That is what noun is. All right. Okay. My is it done? Okay. Then we have pronoun. What is pronoun? Pronoun is something that we use to substitute in place of noun. All right. So, like I said, noun is names, names of anything and everything, right? So proper nouns are those terms that you use in place of these nouns in when you're repeating something. So for example, when I say Tripti is a girl, Tripti goes to school, Tripti likes chocolates, Tripti likes to go and play. So I've said four sentences and I've been repeating this name Tripti four times every time, right? So instead of doing that, when you replace this Tripti, this name with something else, that term that you will use in place of Tripti is known as pronoun. All right. So um, you have he, she, it, they, right? All of these are pronouns. So instead of saying Tripti again and again and again and again and repeating it, we change this Tripti from the second sentence, and once you have specified that it is Tripti that we're speaking about, we do what? We replace this proper noun with a pronoun. So you say Tripti is a girl, she likes to go to school, she likes chocolates, and she likes to play, right? So this replacement of the noun with uh with a she term, right? She because it's a female, we are assuming Tripti is a female. So because we said Tripti is a girl, that's why we say she. But if it was a he, I mean, if it was a male, we say he, and in plural we say they or them, right? So this is pronoun. So now there are different types of pronouns. Okay, uh, this is just for your knowledge. Now there are personal pronouns, that is I, you, he, she, it, they, we, right? Personal pronouns are for specific to, maybe they're all for people only, but it is you use as a, I mean, to refer to that person or to yourself or what, right? So it's like me, I, uh, then you have we, she, it, and they. Those are personal pronouns. Then you have possessive pronouns that shows possession. Possession means to own something, right? So possessive pronouns, that is, I own this thing, or she owns that thing, or they own this thing. So um, we say that that auditorium belongs to my friend's father, right? So he, I mean, he owns that thing, or um this phone is mine, right? Or that bottle is his. So it is showing possession. It is showing ownership of that particular thing, right? So that is possessive pronouns, that which shows the ownership of a particular object. Then you have reflexive pronouns. That is the me, myself, and I crew. That is to say that uh, I myself will be going to school today. I don't need anyone else. So it's just like there we showed ownership. Here it is to show that sort of, what do you say? The sense of that the person itself is able to do it, right? It's reflexive in nature. So I myself can do it, or he himself can go around by himself and explore this city or something like that. The example I've given here is I'll handle it myself, right? So it is showing that the capability of performing the action by us, the individual or ourselves, right? All right. Next we move to verbs. Verbs, simply put, in two words, it's action words. Okay. So the definition of verb is action word. All right. So um, I mean, that's a very basic thing that we first learn. What is verb? Anything that shows action or the ability for action can be called verbs. All right. So there's something called action verbs and linking verbs. Okay. So what is action verbs? The movers and shakers. Like Rita is jumping. or Shruti is eating. All of these are some actions that are performed by the individuals. So, eating, jumping, sleeping, sitting, all of these are actions. It shows that the individual is performing an action. That is known as action verb. All right. Then you have linking verbs. Linking verbs are the matchmakers connecting the subject to more information. For example, this is a little bit deep, right? So, um, Shruti was sleeping, right? So, sleeping is the action. That is your verb because that's an action verb. What is your linking verb? Shruti was sleeping. So, was also over here is a verb. It is a linking verb. Okay, that links the subject. Shruti is the subject. Please learn what is the subject, object, and predicate later. But here, Shruti is the subject, the person, the individual that we're speaking about, right? And what is the action? That she is sleeping. So, what connects Shruti and sleeping? The word was or is, right? So, in this case, was. So, Shruti was sleeping. So, was over here becomes your linking verb. All right. Now, there is another type that's called helping verbs. What is helping verbs? It is the backup signal for main verb, right? So, this also will have am, is, was, will, can. So, it's not about exactly knowing the terms, whether it's helping verb or what kind of verb, but it is to understand that these terms are also verbs. Okay. So, that which helps the main verb. So, just like you had linking verbs that supports and links the subject with the action, your helping verbs acts as a back, as a help to the main verb. So, am, is, was, will, can. She will shine tomorrow. Okay. Or she she can go skating today, right? So this can, that which helps the main verbs. All right. Now there is transitive verbs. Transitive verb means that this particular verb needs help or help with an object. Okay, so they need an object in their, with themselves to complete themselves. All right. So these kind of verbs are known as transitive verbs. For example, I ate the entire pizza. Okay. So ate is okay. All right. Ate what? Pizza. So the pizza is the object over here. So to complete, so if I say I ate, right, it becomes incomplete. So only when I add an object to the sentence, that is pizza to this particular sentence in this case, will the sentence become complete. All right. So if I say I ate, then the question is going to be ate what? Right? So when I add the object over here, I add pizza over here or chocolate or whatever over here, I complete the sentence. Right? So this verb, these kind of verbs, transitive verbs, basically needs a object to complete itself. Then intransitive verbs. These are mostly verbs that can, stay afloat by themselves. All right. So they don't need an object. So he sleeps peacefully. Okay. So sleeps over here becomes your verb. Okay. And right. So sleeps over here becomes your verb. And unlike the previous sentence where unless you add an object, this sentences in intransitive verb sentences, they do not need a supporting object. They themselves are complete. Alright, so he sleeps peacefully, you understand that the person is sleeping peacefully, right? So the children are playing enthusiastically, right? So this would mean what? You understand that there are a group of children and they're very enthusiastic about playing. You don't need a supporting object to understand that what the children are doing, right? Okay. So verbs are the energy drink of sentences. They keep everything moving and exciting. This is to basically say that verbs means action words. Any sort of action, any kind of action in all forms basically mean verbs. There are different types, but in a broader sense, verb means action words. All right. Now, what are adverbs? Adverbs are some. So, if you divide the word add and verb, it's add to the verb, right? So, something that is additional to the verb, right? So, that gives momentum to the verb. It means, right? So, adverbs of manner. Adverbs, so it tells you the nature of the verb, right? Like I said, it gives you the momentum for the verb. In the same way, it basically uh, adds up your uh, verb. So verb is what? Action verb. So adverb is that which tells you more about this action, right? So it tells you more about this action. How? By answering questions like how, when, where, or to what extent, right? So here, like adverbs of manner. So it tells you how something happens. So there are different types. First is of manner. That is, it tells you how something happened, right? So whether it happened quickly, slowly, happily. So in the previous example, we saw that children were playing enthusiastically. So children were playing is good enough. But how were they playing? They were playing enthusiastically. So here we have another example which says she danced beautifully. So she danced is verb over here is danced, right? What is the adverb? The adverb is beautifully. So how did she dance? She danced beautifully. All right. Now there is something called adverb of time. Adverb of time is it tells you when the action took place, right? Um, now, then, yesterday, sometime before, all of these are adverbs of time. It tells you about the specific time of when the action took place. So, for example, I'll eat later, right? It says, I will eat, but when will I eat? I will eat later, right? So, adverb of time. Adverb of place, it tells you about the place of where it happened. It answers the question where, right? Here, there, everywhere. So, all of this. So, example is he looked everywhere for his socks. So, there was someone who was looking for his socks, and where did he look? He looked everywhere. Okay. So, this is adverb of place. Now, adverb of degree. It tells you how much or to what extent, right? So whether it is too much, whether it is very less, whether it is almost complete, or what is it? So the example here is the cake is too good. So how was the cake? The cake was very good, right? So too good means very good. So the cake was very good or too good. I almost completed my lunch box. That means I did not complete my lunch box. I almost completed. So till what extent did you complete? Okay, was it full, half, empty, or so on and so forth? So to what extent this question is answered by adverb of degree. Okay, the degree of whatever the action is, that is answered by this particular adverb. Now, adverb of frequency. How many times, how many number of times it happened? Okay, so how often it happens? How regularly or uh, how regularly, how many times it happens. Frequency is numbers, right? So always, never, sometimes. My tooth aches, right? So your doctor asks, right, how many times in a week or how long has been it aching for or how long do you have the pain for? So you say sometimes it pains in the night, every day it pains, the full day it pains. So it tells you about the adverb of frequency, the number of times it happened, right? The example here is I always forget my keys. So how often do you forget your keys? I always forget my keys. Okay, so this always becomes the adverb over here. It tells you the number of times, okay, or the frequency, basically. So these adverbs basically add extra to your verb. Okay. So these are like the sprinklers that you have on top of your ice cream or fudge. Right? So it's something like that that adds extra to your verb. Now, next we learn adjectives. What is an adjective? Just like adverb is an addition to verb, adjective is an addition to your noun. So it tells you more about the noun. Okay. In some cases, also the pronoun. All right. So there are different kind of adjectives. All right. So here, first is descriptive adjective. Just like the name suggests, it is descriptive in nature. It tells you or describes the noun more for you. Okay. It tells you the quality of the quantity or quality or sorry, quality of the noun, right? So it adds color, shape, size, and more, right? So examples are beautiful, tall, round. What are the what is it in a sentence? She wore a stunning dress. So what is the noun over here? Noun is dress, and the pronoun is she. Okay, but if there was and she is a common noun. Now it is telling you more about the noun, right? And also about the pronoun. So you're also talking about the person who wore the dress and also about the dress itself. So specifically here we're speaking about, let's assume that we speak about the dress and how was the dress, the noun. How was the dress? It was stunning in nature, right? So the word stunning becomes your adjective because it is telling you more about the noun and also about the pronoun over here in this case because she is wearing it. So she was wearing a stunning dress, right? Now, so the descriptive kind of uh, term. Then you have quantitative adjective. It tells you how much or how many. It tells you the quantity. Okay. So some, many, few. I ate 3 cupcakes. Okay. So how many cupcakes did you eat? You ate 3 cupcakes, right? So it tells you about the quantity of the noun. And the noun here is what? Cupcake. Then you have demonstrative adjectives. That is, it points out to the noun. Okay. So that which shows you the direction to the noun is a demonstrative adjective. That, this, these, those. Right? So you go to a shop and you say that I want that cake or you pick that cookie. So here the example is I want that cookie, right? So pointing out to that particular cookie, showing the direction to that cookie becomes a demonstrative adjective. Next is comparative adjective. Just like the name suggests, it is used for comparison. So it compares two things, right? Object A and object B. So how are the things? How is object A and how is object B? It is better, smarter, taller. Okay, all these are examples for adjective, comparative adjective. Example is my dog is bigger than yours. Okay, so let's say there are two people and one is telling the other that my dog is bigger than yours. So how is the dog? There is comparison between my dog and her dog. And what am I saying about my dog? That my dog is bigger. So here bigger becomes a comparative adjective. All right. Now, superlative adjectives. It is the crown or the ultimate winner. That is, it is the highest degree or uh, highest degree of whatever term you're using. So, there is, if I say that Preeti is the most beautiful girl in Aishwarya Rai is the most beautiful woman in India. If I make that statement, then here most beautiful, the superlative, the highest degree of whatever I'm speaking about becomes the superlative adjective. So the highest degree, it is not comparative degree, just like before, good, better, best. Remember, you have your first level, then you have comparative, and then you have superlative. So comparative, we just saw we say bigger, right? Smarter or taller. We use the ER at the end to compare between. Then you have superlative, that is the EST or the most. You use the word most or EST at the end, right? So you can't say best test. There is no best test. There is best. Okay, good, better, best. Some words change completely, like good, better, best. For some, we use EST. For some, we use more or most. All right. So, um, this is the tastiest pizza ever. So your tasty is your adjective. Tastiest is your superlative adjective, because we are saying that there is no other pizza that can compete with this. This is at the highest degree, right? So that's your superlative adjective. Another example using more would most would be uh, this huh um, this shop has the most books than any other shop in the area. Okay, so I am saying that this particular shop that I am visiting right now has the most books compared to any other shop in the vicinity, right? So that is a superlative. This the good, better, best, right? This is the best chocolate fudge in Ratnagiri, right? So I'm saying that in Ratnagiri, this chocolate fudge is the best among all, right? So this is a superlative degree. So superlative adjective is basically a highest level of adjective that you use in the sentence, right? That helps you identify the noun, okay, or tells you more about the noun, right? So they are basically like styles that make everything look and sound good. Okay. All right. Preposition. Preposition is what? Just like its name, it tells you about the position. Okay. So, uh, all right. So preposition of manner or means. That means what? It tells you about how it is happening. Okay. So example is she painted the picture with a brush. Okay. So how did she paint the picture? She painted it with a brush. Okay. So with over here becomes it's not exactly position. With cannot be position, but it is telling you with what, I mean, by the help of which did she accomplish was she able to do the task, right? How did she manage to accomplish the task? So she could do it because of a brush, with a brush. So that with over here is your preposition of manner or means. Okay. Now there is preposition of cause or purpose that answers your question of why. So because of, due to, for. So because I had a fever yesterday, I did not come to class. Okay. Due to heavy rainfall, the trains were blocked. So this due to, because of, for, right? I will be going to Mumbai for some work. So this for, sorry. So this for, because of, due to, all of this becomes a preposition of cause or purpose. All right. So these are basically connectors that make your sentence go in a flow, right? So it tells you preposition, it tells you about a place. So under, above, all of these are also preposition. Okay. Then you have conjunction. Conjunction is the second last part of speech. Conjunctions are like glue of grammar. They stick words, phrases, clauses together to keep your sentence from falling apart. So for basically, you connect two sentences together, or in a sentence when you have two items or two subjects and how or two objects, how do you connect it, right? This is done with the help of a conjunction. Okay, so uh, and, but, or, so, yet, for, nor. All of these are conjunctions. Okay, so these are connecting words. Conjunction means connecting words. All right, that's a definition for conjunction. So, uh, I want pizza, but I ate salad yesterday. That's a very random sentence, sorry, but it's just to give you an example. So, I wanted pizza. Oh, sorry, I've written I wanted pizza. Sorry, my bad. I wanted pizza, but I ate salad yesterday. So it is telling you that this person wanted to eat pizza, But she or he, they ended up eating salad instead, right? So this but over here is connecting these two sentences. Now imagine the sentence without a but, right? So it would be something like, I wanted pizza, I ate salad yesterday. That makes no sense, right? Because it's not telling you anything. So when you add this but, it gives meaning to the sentence saying that I did want to have pizza, but I actually ended up having salad, right? Okay. That is coordinating conjunctions. The next one is subordinating conjunctions. What is subordinating conjunctions? They link the main clause to a subordinate clause. Okay. So clause means I wanted pizza is a clause. I ate salad instead, or I ate salad is another clause. Okay. So in a sentence, sometimes you have a main clause and a subordinate clause. Main clause is when you have your subject and you're speaking about the particular your subject, what the main uh, item is, or the main phrases, right? What is giving you more information about it, what you are speaking about becomes your main clause, and that which gives you more information about your main clause or your subject becomes your subordinate clause. Okay, once again, what you're speaking about is your main clause. What gives you more information or tells you more about your main clause or your subject becomes your subordinate clause. All right. So subordinating conjunctions are what? That which connects this main clause with the subordinate clause becomes a subordinating conjunction. So examples for these are because, although, since, and if. There are more. The example is I stayed home because it was raining. So what is your main clause here? I stayed home because I here is the subject, me, right? I am the subject here. And what is the subject doing? The subject stayed at home. I stayed at home. I stayed home. Why? Because it was raining. Because is your conjunction here. It is connecting your first. I stayed home. It was raining. These two sentences is connecting because. Why does it become a subordinating conjunction? It was raining. So I'm giving you reasons for why I stayed home yesterday or today, whenever, right? So I stayed at home is your main clause, and why I stayed at home because it was raining becomes your subordinate clause, and because over here becomes your subordinating conjunction because it is joining a main clause to a subordinate clause. All right. The final type of conjunction is correlative conjunction. What is correlative conjunction? It is a tag team. They always work in pairs. All right. So you have two words always going together. Neither or, neither nor, both and. Okay. So I want both the ice cream and the chocolate. Right. So both and. These are, they always go hand in hand. It can't just be one. Okay. I neither want pink nor blue. Okay. I either want to dance or sing. Okay. So it always goes in hand in hand. The example here is you can either have cake or ice cream. Here you go. So someone saying that you can either have cake or ice cream. Okay. So either or. Okay. They are pairs that always go hand in hand. All right. So conjunctions are like matchmakers of sentences. They make sure everything stick together perfectly. So basically, it is a glue that sticks together two sentences or two clauses or two phrases. All right. Simple. The final part of speech is interjection. Interjection. It is the most easiest. Interjection is any strong emotion that is expressed with an exclamation mark, mostly. All right, not always, but mostly. So any strong emotion that you're feeling, whether it is sadness, excitement, surprise, and you say hooray, and you have that exclamation, right? Or you say and you have that exclamation mark. So all of these emotions, when it is expressed with an exclamation mark or not, it becomes interjection. But mostly we use it with an exclamation mark. So it shows happiness, like wow, yay, hooray. Example, yay, we won the game. So that's showing happiness. Exclamation mark. That line with the dot is called an exclamation mark. I hope you're aware. So that's one exclamation. So yay, exclamation, we won the game. It's showing you happiness, right? Surprise. Oh, ah, and whoa, right? So example, oh, I didn't see that coming. So you say, oh, I don't see that. I didn't see that coming. So exclamation mark is showing surprise that you did not see and it caught you by surprise, right? Then you have anger or frustration. Okay, that is also shown by this particular part of speech. Example is, ah, this is so annoying, right? So this has this exclamation mark. It is showing that someone is frustrated or angry about this. Then you have sadness, that is alas, oh no, and oops. Right? Example is alas, the hero was defeated. Right? So it's showing some sort of sadness that the protagonist or the person or who for the protagonist have called it. So it's going. So it's showing some kind of attention seeking, right? So yeah, this is a final type. So interjection is basically any emotion, any strong emotion that you put forth or is expressed to you. All of this is called as interjection, and this is mostly um expressed with an exclamation mark when you write them down. Okay. So with this, we finished parts of speech. All right, and all of your sentences, all of your sentences in your daily life or any formal communication that you have, our sentences are made up of these things majorly. All right. So understanding them and knowing how to use them properly, knowing how to use them is one thing, but knowing to do them properly is very important. Um, this forms the very base of the language itself, and so it is important to understand. It to know all the terms for each of the types and all that, that's one thing. But knowing what is what, being able to identify a noun, verb, adjective, adverb, interjection, condition is very important. And I mean, that much is good enough. And I think class is about to end. And since we have finished parts of speech, I think we're good to go. So we'll do the rest tomorrow. If there is any doubts, is there any doubt?